welcome to the Jamaica Funk Show. I'm KT and I'm your host this evening. Guys, I'm telling you, this has been a crazy day, crazy day, but I'm here and I am ready to bring it to you. So tonight we're going to do how to form a non-for-profit corporation, your 501c3. Also, we're going to talk about the Batchlorette, and we're going to listen to some Joe's poetry, reset, and some sweet reggae music. So I want you to sit back and relax. I want you to grab that last piece of jerk chicken and whatever it is that you're eating and drinking. And I want you to get ready for some show enough. Mama, shut your mouth. Reggae music. Well, Irie man.
Girl, you're so fine. Think we really need to spend more time. See it clear, cause I love you, you're not blind. If it was a felony, me charge for the crime. Girl, don't play with my mind. I will be there, will never treat you unkindly. I'm yours, so girl, just be mine. Tell you, say me love you from a long time.
Yeah. You say you love me, no, I love you more. Yeah. When you say you
start, you have a place in my heart. Up in my mind, soul, body in my thought. You know that this is real from the beginning, we never depart. Solid cause we never fall short. Baby, you adore me, I adore you. Whatever the case is, you know I will be there for you. And I will never ignore you. God, just remember what I'm saying.
Someday, I know that we're gonna move from here to our own place. I believe that we are gonna make it through God's grace. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, baby, but have a little faith, 'cause I'll never leave you, no. I will be there every time you close your eyes. I will be there. I'll wake up by your side like your shadow. I will stick by you, and I'll always be around. I'm gonna stick by you.
oh, girl, take a minute and catch your breath. And I'll take that minute to wipe my sweat. It's only the beginning, we ain't halfway yet. If you think that you can handle me, place your bet. You're gonna lose, and all your treasure will be mine for sure. My love's a cruise to a place you've never been before. Ooh, the prize is satisfaction guaranteed when you choose to give yourself to me. I do love to make sweet love to
I tell them reggae make you rock. Reggae make you rock some more. I say rubber dub. Reggae make you rock some more. Having fun this time around. To the sweet reggae sound. Smiling faces, no see no frown. The music gets you high way off the ground. Yeah. Feel the vibe when everybody gather round. Woy, 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 woy. Just string it up, we want to hear the sound. Woyoy, woyoy, woyoy. See man and woman, them a rock. Everybody feel a vibe, nobody and no dead stock. No pain when music hits, Robert Nesta said that. So pull up that one you from top. That one you name reggae make you rock, rock, rock. Reggae make you rock some more. I say rubber,
Alongside me queen,
reggae make you rock some more.
I feel like skank. No. Skank to the reggae music. Lord. I feel like grooving. Lord. Groove to the reggae music. Lord. Go on and skank with me, baby. Gonna make you mine if it takes all night. Lord. Spend some time with me, lady. Let me love you till you can't take no more. Lord. Alright. Go make we take on the dance floor. Money in me pocket and pretty girl I roll. Rubber up it till a man in sweat a bust through me pores. Lick up on table, I grate the smoke. The permit said two, but we just now go home. Check it up, select that this I wanna eat down. Rastaman in the corner we takes a list in my load. And the youths them step out of pop sport. I feel like skank. Lord. Skank to the reggae music. Give her your walk, give her your walk propaganda. I no need you for nine man veranda. Yes. Leave people business alone. Hey, beg you a walk propaganda. I no want it for nine man veranda. Yes. Leave people business alone. Yes. I know you don't know the fullness, yet you come and stir up and snares. You ready now to tell me lies, ready for subtract and multiply. Someone told you the story, and yet you act as if you were there. I don't want you around me, just act like you don't know me. Yeah. Beg you a walk propaganda. I don't need you for nine man veranda. Yes. Leave people business alone. Yeah. Beg you a walk propaganda. I don't want it for nine man veranda. Yes. Leave people business alone.
You know, that's what my mom always told me, leave people's business alone. Well, you were just listening to DJ G Sharp down at Mr. Brown's here in Chicago. So, did any of you guys watch the Batchlorette finale last night? It was very, very good. I was very shocked because Rachel, who is a black young lady, and one of the guys that she was deciding on whether to marry or not to marry, one of the guys' name was Peter. And Peter was unsure about what he wanted to do. He didn't know whether or not, if he wanted to continue the relationship with her, but he didn't want to ask her to marry him. He didn't want to get engaged. And she said to him that she can't deal with that uncertainty. She doesn't do uncertainty well. And he was like, well, go ahead on and have a mediocre relationship with somebody else and have a mediocre life. And this young lady was crying. I mean, she was crying. She cried so much until she even had to say she cried her eyelashes off. Well, anyways, she left there and she was sad. It was raining. They were in Spain. I mean, it's like, wow. But by the next morning, she was up and she was, you know, trying to get herself ready for the next guy, which was Brian. Now, Brian, on the other hand, is in love with Rachel. And Rachel actually was in love with Brian, but she was also in love with Peter. And you know, for me, that's kind of crazy to be in love with two guys at the same time. That's not an easy thing to do, for at least for me. For some folk, maybe it's not, but for her, it obviously wasn't a real hard thing to do because by the time Brian climbed that hill to the castle to where she was, Brian had this, I want to say it was about 4 carat diamond ring, diamond engagement ring, and it was heart shaped. It was really, really a beautiful, beautiful ring. It was either heart shaped or teardrop shaped, but I think it was heart shaped because hearts are a little bit wider than teardrops. Anyways, he gets up to the top of the mountain and Rachel is standing there waiting for her man to show up. And he shows up and he just lets her know that she was the one for him, that he could not live without her. And would she marry him? You know, and it was a little bit longer than that, you know, because they both had their little say in the matter. But by the time it ended, he was on his knees asking her to marry him, and she was jumping around like crazy because she was happy. And she told him yes, of course. And he just picked her up and swung her around, and you know, or I should say, spun her around. And she said, "Oh, she was just so happy. She was so happy uh, that when Brian got ready to carry her down the hill, he realized that this hill's a little bit too steep for me to be trying to carry you down this hill. I'll be done hurt you and me too." So he put her down, and they both walked down. But it was just very, very emotional. It was very highly emotional. I've never seen a bachelor or bachelorette that had such an emotional finale. But it was really, really emotional. And if you get a chance to see it, if you've recorded it, watch it because it was really, really good. So, guys, I'm going to give you a little bit of reset right quick here. And then we're going to come back and do how to form your non-for-profit corporation, your 501c3. And if you're just tuning in, you're listening to KT on the Jamaica Funk Show. Well, Irie.
Reset, reset, reset. If you had the opportunity to live life over without limits or boundaries, having the ability to manifest your goals and dreams with the opportunity to live life on your terms, would you be willing to develop the greatness in you, stepping into a new dimension that supports your expectation of life? Each of us has the power to step out of ordinary into extraordinary living, a life filled with limitless opportunities with the access to an abundance of everything. But it starts with resetting your 5 senses. See, our 5 senses gives us the ability to hear, see, taste, smell, and hold. Some of us have put our life on hold because of the negative things we have been told throughout life's journey. What we have seen and heard have caused us to put up roadblocks, leading us down the path called Impossibility Boulevard, detouring us from smelling the roses, tasting and partaking in the beauty of unlimited possibilities that life has to offer. It's time to reset our thinking, creating a new reality that demands us to be optimistic in the midst of adversity, knowing there is always a way out when we are able to look beyond the obstacles and see the opportunity within. Living life on our terms start with making a commitment to become invincible and unstoppable when it comes to our goals and dreams, refusing to be defeated
defeated or mistreated, having the courage to put life on blast, no longer requiring life's approval, choosing to live life the way we see it and not the way life dictates or demands. Each of us have the power to press reset. When we reset our life, it resets our reality, causing us to live on purpose. The kind of life that I'm referring to will cause controversy amongst the turtles when you start running with the giraffes. No longer will you allow negative conversation within or without keep you from coming out of the box. Our determination will cause us to push through the impossibilities, rising to the call of it's possible, moving us forward onto higher grounds. Elevation, exploitation brings new players to the game. Fresh ideas and courage will eliminate fear, breaking the barriers that have had us chained, refusing to be held back in the game we call life. This is your season of opportunities. Today is your day to live life on purpose. Impulse won't do. Put life on notice. There is greatness in you. Don't be sold by the negative stories you've been told. Living life on your terms is possible. But that negative conversation, see, that's what's old. There is nothing new under the sun. Whatever you want to be or do, there is someone who has already begun the journey on the road you desire to travel to. It's your turn. Now let your feet hit the gravel. When you live on purpose, it demolishes the thoughts of it's impossible, enlarging your horizon and opening the doors to unlimited opportunities, moving you beyond involvement into commitment. See, the pig was always committed, whereas the chicken only got involved. If you are ready for a revolution to take place in your life, then now is the time for you to become bold, ambitious, and radical. You have the potential to live an extraordinary life. Your goals and dreams are dependent on you to free them from within so they can rock the world and blow minds across the globe, opening new doors and giving opportunity to those that have been sold on it's impossible to live your dreams. The world will see your story alone, that ambition is the vehicle that awakens dreams. Being radical makes us be determined to see the possibilities in the negative advertisement. And potential declares, I have what it takes to manifest my goals and dreams. If I have to retrain and refuel to be able to endure the journey, I am determined to deliver what I came to earth to give. I suggest that you start today by building a team of people, starting with yourself, that is willing to motivate and inspire you. When times get rough, encourage yourself to continue moving forward, staying committed to the journey, knowing if you believe in your dreams and can see them, have faith, you will definitely achieve them. Each of us has dreams that are worth living. The people that are living their dreams refuse to allow the gravity of negativity to pull them down, nor are they waiting for greatness to be created or show up on their doorstep. They understand that greatness is not created, nor is it discovered. It is awakened and developed from within. This is your time to shine and your season for greatness. Are you ready to awaken and develop the greatness in you? You know what you got to do. Press reset.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Reset by Emira. And you can go to Emira, that's EMIRA.com, and get a copy of Reset if you so wish to. So, we're going to jump right into chapter 3. We're finishing up chapter 3 from last week. We started on chapter 3 and we're going to finish it up right quick. Tonight we're going to be talking about limitations on profit and loss benefits, excess benefit rule. We're going to also talk about limitations on political activities. Um, and we're going to also give you some examples. And then we're going to talk about alternate political expenditures. So, if you're just now tuning in, you're listening to the Jamaica Funk Show, and I'm KT, your host. If you like this radio show and other shows and want to hear other shows that we've done, all you have to do is go to www.jamaicafunkshow.com, and you can also catch us on iHeartRadio. Yes, we are a new iHeart radio family. So I am just so excited about that. So, limitations on profit and loss benefits. A 501c3 nonprofit corporation cannot be organized or operate to benefit the individuals associated with the corporation, the directors, officers, or members, or any person entitled relatives to or controlled by these individuals, such as another corporation controlled by the directors. In tax language, this limitation is known as the prohibition on private instruments. And that means that 501c3 groups can't pay profits to otherwise benefits private interests. Two specific 501c3 requirements implements this prohibition on self-incurement. No part of the net earnings of a corporation can distribute to its individuals associated with the corporation. Two, upon dissolution, the assets of the 501c3 group must be revocably dedicated to another tax exempt group or a federal, state, or local government for a public purpose. So, in otherwise, when you dissolve the 501c3 for whatever reason there may be, any of the assets of the corporation has to be distributed to another tax exempt organization, as in donation, or you need to give it to a state or federal local government entity. So that could even be a school that you can give this, equipment or furniture or even money. You can give the monies that's left over from the corporation. It's not like a regular corporation. When you shut down the corporation, you distribute the assets to the directors. You can distribute those assets. But with the 501c3 or any non-for-profit organization, you can't do that. It's illegal, and you can get in trouble with the IRS. Now, excess benefit rule. The IRS has adopted a strict rule and regulations regarding the payment of money benefits, or profit to nonprofit directors, officers, sponsors, donors, and others associated with the nonprofit. That means purpose for these rules calls the excess benefit rule is to make sure nonprofit organizations do not pay out lavish benefits or skim off program funds to line the pockets or serve the private interests of individuals associated with the nonprofit. The excess benefit rule is also called the IRS intermediate sanctions. These rules are contained in Section 4958 of the Internal Revenue Code and Section 53.4958 of the IRS regulations. Under the rule, an excessive benefit transaction is any transaction where the nonprofit gives cash, property, or any of its values to the recipients that exceeds the value of the service performed by the recipient. Okay, so to explain that, if a nonprofit pays $100 to an officer who has contributed $75 worth of service, then the excess benefit is $25. This is what they mean by excess. So if you give somebody, a director or someone who's working for the corporation, if you pay them more than what they have contributed, this is grounds for you to lose your 501c3 tax exempt status. So, the sanctions include a tax that must be paid by both recipient and the excess benefit will, as the nonprofit managers, the directors, the executive officers who approve the excess benefit. The recipient of the excess benefit can be assessed 25% tax on the excess benefit, and the manager or managers who approved it can be assessed 10% tax with a limit on managers' liabilities capped at $20,000. A director must object to the transaction to be excluded from those considered to have approved it. Silence or abstinence at the board meeting that results in the excess benefits being paid is not a defense. So that just basically means that you need to tell people that no, I don't agree with this, because if not, you can be held liable. This is one of the reasons why nonprofit has a hard time getting directors and officers, because the liability is really high. And that's why early on in the lesson I talked to you about getting this insurance, this errors and omissions insurance, to protect your officers from having to be responsible for approving something that they may have not understood the repercussions of. Limitations on political activities. A 501c3 corporation is prohibited from participating in any political campaign for or against any candidate for public office. Participation in or contributions to a political campaign can result in revoking the 501c tax exempt status and the assessment of a special excise tax against the organization and its managers. It says see IRS Code 4955 6852 7409. This is one of the things that churches do, especially in the black community. One of the things that I've noticed, some of the bigger churches, when politicians are running for office, they'll come and they'll give you their spiel. They'll talk to you about voting for them and what have you. But I've seen churches actually create these um, ballots where they show you both sides of the agenda of the politician and the way that they sway you into voting for a certain politician that they may want to have as a candidate for whatever office that's being elected or is up for election. They will tell you about your moral compass. And that is, to me, um, doing something that they should not be doing, even though they're not telling you to vote for a certain or not vote for a certain candidate. But what they do is they play on your moral compass, and you usually fall in line because when they start talking about your moral values, people tend to be emotional about their moral values. Now, example of this type of testing that will let you know whether or not if you're following the IRS rules or if you're not. So, a House Information Exchange keeps its members informed of proposed legislation affecting low income renters. This should not be considered legislative lobbying actively unless the members are urged to contact their political representatives in support of or in opposition to the opposed or proposed legislation. In determining whether or not a group legislative activities are substantial in scope, the IRS looks at the amount of time, money, and effort the group spends on legislative lobbying. If they are substantial in relation to their activities, 501c3 tax status might be revoked, and again, a special excess tax can be levied against the organization and its managers. So, when they say lobbying, they're basically talking about someone giving you information to make some kind of decision with regards to a political endeavor, whether it's a decision for or a decision against. Alternate political expenditures test. This is a test you can do to see whether or not if what you're doing is right for you or if it's something that can cause you to lose your status. Since it is impossible to know ahead of time how the IRS will assess the stability of the group legislative activities, the IRC allows 501c3 public charities groups will qualify for public charity. Elect an alternate expenditure test to measure the permissible legislative activities. Under this test, a group may spend up to 20% of the first $500,000 of its annual expenditures on lobbying, 15% on the next $500,000, and 10% of the next $500,000, and 5% of the expenditures beyond that up to the total of $1 million each year. If your nonprofit corporation plans to do considerable lobbying activities, mostly by unpaid volunteers, then electing the expenditure test might be a good idea. Why? Because the minimal outlay of money to engage in these activities will probably keep you under the applicable expenditure limit. If you didn't make this election, your 501c3 tax exemption might be placed in jeopardy if the IRS considers your political activities to be substantial part of your overall purpose and program. So next week, guys, we're going to go into chapter 4. And chapter 4 is actually a short chapter. It's on public charities and private foundations. And it's a really short chapter, so we should be able to get this covered next week. So if you're just now tuning in, we were talking about how to form your nonprofit corporation, your 501c3. There is also another one. I was telling one of the listeners last week that we would talk about 501c7, which is for fraternities and social club entities. However, we're not going to have time for that this evening. So we're going to do a little bit more reggae music. Then we're going to play some Joe's poetry, and then we'll be leaving. So you're listening to the Jamaica Funk Show. I'm KT. And let's get some sweet, sweet reggae music going. Well, Irie man.
Watch me when me work. Look how me make the booty work. Just relax, baby, and let me do the work first. Just for the night, me want to be a night nurse. Watch me when me work. Look how me make the booty work. Oh, baby, nobody hurt me. You come quick while you first me. Me glad bag me while you burst it. Like a person there, me while you search me. Me love it rough, yeah, me love it when you gird me. But from ever since my mother birthed me, and my time I not left the place, yeah. Give me no, come me not see you later. Make a movie like a inner dictator. Call me a judge when me done with the case, yeah. All that I wanted from you was to give me something that I never had, something that you've never seen, something that you've never been. But I wake up and act like nothing's wrong. Watch me when me work. Look how me make the booty work. Just relax, baby, and make me do the work first. Just for the night, me want to be a night nurse. Watch me when me work. Look how me make the booty work. Oh, give it to me, please. Baby, don't you leave. Me feel high and me not but no weed. This are the only chance to. Tonight, boy, and me you belong to. You don't really know how much me want you. Admit, so me bring out the best in you. Spirit take you, and that's why me mess with you. Hold me tight, hear me dressing too. What can I say? Me know you love me and me love you. Watch me when me work. Look how me make the booty work. Just relax, baby, and make me do the work first. Just for the night, me want to be a night nurse. Watch me when me work. Look how me make the booty work. Oh.
Bring that booty. From a colleague, you know you just come over. Wine in a slow motion. Up in your belly at the motion. Girl, I leave you, make you twerk on it. I love it when you work on it. She back it up, she moving like a pope on it. Acrobat with hydraulic, she tipping on her toe with it. Girl, whine and move your body and turn me on. Girl, the way you looking right now, girl, you turn me on. Every time you whine, your body a gone. Girl, we attracted, and the feeling so strong. When I see you face to face, when we in the same place, girl, a warm embrace. When you work, you left me amazed.
Watch me when me work. Look how me make the booty work. Just relax, baby, and make me do the work first. Just for the night, me want to be a night nurse. Watch me when me work. Look how me make the booty work. Oh. But I wake up and act like nothing's wrong. Work.
of this new world I would soon be living in. I remember saying goodbye to everyone because I wouldn't know them again. Not like I knew them now. The next time would be different because I would be different. Because I would have lived in the new world. Whatever changes that would happen to me would be permanent. My old friends would never recognize me. Just before I was born, I knew everything there was to know because I came from a collective of love and thought, and no one hid anything they knew from another. Then I took my first breath, and it was gone. All of it. It was like they didn't exist. I don't remember the air or the ground or if there were buildings or homes or anything at all. It's all gone. But there's this little inkling of something inside me that says there is something, somewhere, someplace better than this. So the first thing I felt was pain because I was lost and lonely and cold and so small. I was vulnerable. I needed protection from everything. The air here is different. The food, the clothing, the shelter, it's all so foreign, so new, so strange, and somehow so wonderful. Now, but I still feel like I'm missing something. So I cry, and you comfort me, and the warmth and love is felt. I've grown older now, and I've learned so many wonderful, some dreadful things. I wish I didn't know, but I have to know if I'm to live here, grow more here, survive here. I've learned that here is not forever. There is forever. Where I was is forever. You told me that you would be there for me and forever, and just believe you, and you would meet me in forever. So now I can't wait, but I have to, and that's okay too, because I am forever, even though I was born dead.
That was Miss Johanna Bright, excerpts from my resume, and that piece was called I Was Born Dead. You can get that and other ones at Joe's Poetry. You will find the link on www.jamaicafunkshow.com. Guys, time has really ran away from us, and once again, it's time for us to say goodnight. You can hear us also on iHeartRadio. Like I said, we are one of the newest iHeartRadio family members. So I'm very excited about that. So I want you guys to go to iHeartRadio and search Jamaica Funk Show. You will find us there. I just want to say I appreciate you all being here with us this evening. Um, because without you, there is no us. And so, with that, I say God bless you. Tune in tomorrow evening at 8:15, 9:15 for Black History Wednesday. And until then, well, Irie.
You think me easy? Who you ramp with? You want it easy? You take me things and take my money too. So take intro. Me like me a tricks in a 3D. Fini CD, DVD, TV. Pay me back for all of those kiki. Give me 3 free with you, me free. If your man big like Baby G, mine sing and DJ like Lady G. I hope pay your visa fee. Grab me, y'all sing for it like Alisa D. Take in. You think me easy? Who you ramp with? You want it easy? Take me things and you take my money too. So take intro. Take in. You think me easy? Who you ramp with? You want it easy? You take me things and take my money too. So take intro. Take in. You think me easy? Who you ramp with? You want it easy? Take me things and you take my money too. So take intro. Take in. You think me easy? Who you ramp with? You want it easy? You take me things and take my money too. So take intro.